Hello, my name is Brandon Atchley, and I'm here to demonstrate the Motorola Wing Express user interface. So here we are on the login screen. By default, Motorola makes the default username and password admin, and then Motorola all lowercase. Alrighty, here we are into the main dashboard when you log in. This is really where you can see all your network usage, your system information, your network segmentation, what kind of devices are on your network. So if you see here, gives you your current version you're on, how many access points are currently online and what's offline, whether your virtual controller is enabled, your IP address, your uptime. You can quickly look at your network usage. You can switch between which frequency band or SSIDs that you're broadcasting on. You have 30 minutes, 2 hours, 24 hours of time frame that you can look back on. Here's your client count, so it shows you how many clients were on each radio at what time. There's that. Let's move forward into the monitoring section. We go under radios. So here we are under radios. This is where it shows the radios of your access points. So currently I only have the AP6521, two of those, which are just single radio units. I have two of those. One radio. If you had multiple radios, it'd show you that. It shows me what channel I'm broadcasting on, the output power, whether they're online or offline, how many clients are on each of those. Here's your throughput numbers. Move to the WLANs. Here's the WLAN. So if you have multiple WLANs set up, it'll show you here. So you could have like a guest, a corporate, an employee. Shows you how many clients, and it shows you, which SSIDs those clients are on. Shows you what VLANs you have set up. It shows you what kind of security you have. And again, here's your throughput numbers. Let's move over to clients. So here we are on the client screen. Right now I currently have 4 clients on. It shows you what SSID you're on, the WLAN, what VLAN they're currently on. It shows you what access point they're on, so you can name your different access points so you can tell where they are. It tells you vendor name, so you can kind of get an idea of what's on. So as you see HTC Corp, that's a cell phone. Here's HTC Corp, another cell phone, Microsoft. Here's a desktop. There we go with that. Okay, let's move on to the configuration section. We're going to go under the basic tab. So here's where you set up your basic settings. So you can set up like an access point name, turn on the virtual controller for that access point, set up the country so it sets up all your restrictions depending on the country you're in, time zone, set your time and date, and then you can do an NTP server so that way it'll automatically just update the time and date without you having to do anything. So here we are moving into LAN. This is where you really set up like your VLANs and set up what you want each port to be. So if you're using an access point with multiple ports, it'll show it in here. Then here you can set up multiple VLANs. Okay, we're going to move into the WAN section. So WAN section is really not too much in here. By default I keep this not enabled. If you enable this, this really makes it so that way your main virtual controller access point can directly interface with your WAN. So if you have multiple different locations, the virtual controller can control access points in different geographical locations. Here we are in the wireless section. This is where you're really going to control all your wireless. Choose the channel, choose the power output, create your SSIDs, your passphrases, things like that. Now let add to see what it looks like. So here's in the add screen, so you can create a name here, turn it on, create your SSID, choose what kind of security you want, whether open, you want to use a passkey, you want to use a radius server or guest. When you use it on guest, it can create a captive portal. And then here's where you can select different VLANs. Let's go back. Okay, here we're back on the main wireless screen. Select down which mode you're going to choose. So that's pretty much that to the wireless section. Let's move into the security section. I don't use the security section personally myself for anything, but on larger networks you'd want to set up like firewall rules and policies. You can set up like the intrusion prevention, enable rogue AP detection, things like that. Let's move into the services. So under the services, all you have here is the DHCP settings. So you can set it up to where if you want a guest network per se, and you want people connecting and VLANing right out, and you don't want to have to set up a DHCP on some kind of other device, you can just set it up right here, and you can have your access points actually provision the devices with an IP address. Okay. Let's go into the management section. So here we are in the management section, kind of what you expect out of the management. You can change your username and your password, choose your different types of access, set up system log, your SNMP settings. There you go, SNMP traps. Pretty straightforward there. Let's go into the last section. This is one of the most important sections, your access point section. So here's where it's going to list all your access points. Shows you what firmware version you're currently on. You can click up here in the corner, show upgrades, so it'll show you if there's ever been upgrades done, things like that. But here it'll show you that I have this access point currently on the 5 gigahertz. It's on channel 100W for the wideband. Power 15 dBms. Here's channel 1, power 19. Shows you they're both online. I can select one of them and go up and use tool feature right here. In factory default, I can reboot it in case something's having an issue. I can upgrade it if I have an upgrade firmware. Gives you options of doing like from an FTP server or an HTTP. Tech support, export and import configurations in case you want to roll it out to different sites. Maybe you don't want to do virtual controller at different sites, but you want to have a golden image that you're going to roll out to different locations. You can turn the locator on and off, so if you need to actually locate a specific access point, you can turn on the locator and it'll blink the light to kind of notify which access point it is. And then here we go into the event history. It's just exactly what it says, event history. So it'll show you everything in here. People log in, things like that. Authentication was successful. Shows you the IP address that I logged in from my computer. Shows you host name. So what's going on, who's doing it, what access points it's affecting. So there you have it. There's the Motorola Wing Express user interface.